Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, the 2nd of December. I want to talk about how Jesus said that he was the straight line from Abraham. And I want to talk about the use of our energies, especially our compassion, so that in what we are doing, we're going to hit the mark. We're doing the right thing. We're understanding ourselves. We know what it is we're doing. And in that, we need to understand what it is we're in. What is actually happening here. So when Jesus said, I am the straight line from Abraham, he was speaking spiritually, obviously. So on the level of thought, of the level of intention, which is the level of God, the level of intention, he was the straight line of Abraham. And I have wondered so often what that actually means. Because in Jewish tradition, if you have a teaching, it would give you a line of sages. So you would say a spiritual lineage, where you can trace a thought back from one sage to another and to see how it developed. Because Judaism is actually an evolving thing. Yeah, where it goes from one sage, and maybe a sage would have two disciples, in which case that take this thought into two different directions, so it always branches out. You create a tree of knowledge with branches. But, as I said, traditionally you would have the spiritual lineage. So you can trace the thought back, how it developed. And that lineage is not given in the New Testament. The physical lineage of Jesus, yes, that's the first thing that is given in the book. But not the spiritual lineage. So he says, I'm straight up from Abraham, or straight down. And given that there were about 4,000 years between them, you kind of wonder what happened in between. Anyway, it came to me today. And again, there is an intention, a God, that creates a man, a state of consciousness in a man. What is it you think you are, and what is it you think you're doing? So Abraham was a servant of God. That's how he saw himself, as a servant of God, and he received of God for his service. And he was on a promise, obviously, that his people would be a great people in this world. So, and then see that God is the intention. Again, God is the intention. It is the intention that creates realities, that creates servants, that creates other states of consciousness in people. And and then creates this reality. So the intention that he served is that God that wants to have dominion over this entire world. Yeah? And it needs to subdue our nature, because our nature is according to the intention of this world, which is a different intention. As I said, ours is according to nature, and the intention of nature, you can see it by its fruit in this world, is that there are different parts that live together, that continuously give and receive of one another, that create a self-sustaining whole, in which all give and receive. And there is no part of nature that rules over everything else. It doesn't happen. No part of nature is attempting to take over the world. So that thought of ruling over everything is alien to this world. It's an alien intention, an alien God. And it clearly says in the Bible, his is a different kingdom, it's not of this world. So there you have the alien invasion on a spiritual level. But it creates a man. He sees himself as a servant to that intention and then does according to that. And again, we have to suppress our own nature, and we have to be willing to do things then that are not according to our nature and against our conscience. Again, that is created out of who we naturally are, our knowledge of good and bad. So Abraham was a great servant to that God, and he was willing to go as far as to sacrifice his own son for the cause. Yeah? For this intention that God should rule. That is as far as he was willing to go, which makes him a great servant. Given that that was his only son, Jesus became a greater servant in that he was willing to sacrifice himself. Yeah? Sacrificing somebody else is one thing, but sacrificing yourself is the greatest sacrifice. And the way to subdue your own nature to the point where you are willing to do that is compassion. To become the fullness of compassion is the way to be willing to self-sacrifice. That is what he was teaching. What he was teaching should serve that kingdom, the one that should rule over all of us. Become the fullness of compassion, and you will be willing to self-sacrifice. How great is that? You'll be the greatest servant of all. Now, as I said, we need to understand what we're in. Different intentions create different realities. And we are becoming the servants to those intentions. And we're using our energies in a way that will serve one or the other. That is knowing what it is we're doing. Which mark are we actually trying to hit? Yeah? And when are we in sin? When have we gone the wrong way? We missed the mark. So are we serving the intention that something should come? We subdue our own nature and we let something come in that is not according to this world, that is completely unnatural to this world, that is alien to this world. Are we letting that in through us? Or are we according to this world? And then there's the usage of our energies in a way that they will hit the mark, that they will serve the intention. So in this world, yes, we have compassion. Absolutely we have. And in this world, compassion is used to drive us, so to speak, to help others. That is what it does. And again, then it is, we are cooperating with others, we're trying to help others, we're trying to sustain others, we give to one another, which is according to this world, according to the intention of this world. And here is that the knowledge was given and it served in the way of this world at the start, in the healings, in the feedings, in all the other things. It did. It was according to this world, it served this world. But then Jesus went further out. See, we are not always in compassion. We have many other energies. Yeah? We are coming up towards, many different situations. Yeah? Compassion is there as a reaction to suffering. Yeah? But we have other energies for other situations. fear for danger, anger, injustice, greed if there's need. We are diverse in the energies that we've got. And yes, compassion if there's suffering, absolutely. Maybe another energy would serve better in a different situation if you're facing a different problem. Diversity in this world. This world is diverse and we are diverse. So, yes, if you're in compassion, if there's suffering, you have hit the mark. Absolutely. If you go full on into compassion to the point where it drives you to self-sacrifice, you've gone too far. That is not according to this world. That is not how compassion should work in this world. It should not drive you to self-sacrifice. That's not its point in this world. But it serves the other intention. And there you come to the situation at the cross, where you first of all had Jesus say, my Father, why hast thou deserted me? That is the intention of this world. Did not actually desert him. He deserted it. He removed himself from the intention of this world to serve another. It was he that severed the ties, not this world. In fact, he prayed that hard that night before, or in the garden, to sever those ties. So you have, my Father, why hast thou deserted me? And then you have the other voice saying, this is my Son, of whom I'm exceedingly proud. Yeah? You've missed the mark according to this world. You used an energy beyond the point where you should have gone according to this world. But you've hit the mark when it comes to that other intention, to rule over this world, and you've made yourself a willing sacrifice. Yeah. You full on missed the mark there, so he's exceedingly proud. So, really knowing where we're at, what we are in, what intention do we actually serve? What intention do we want to be a part of? And then use our energies according to and act according to what would serve that intention. The biggest problem is this idea of there is only one. There's only one God. Yeah, there's only one intention. There's only one possible outcome. Yeah. There's only one true reality. And obviously this one is not it. Yeah. And if you do not know there is a choice, then you cannot have discernment, because there's nothing to think about. And I really think that this teaching, the New Testament, was given in such a way that there were two voices, that there were two intentions and two possible outcomes. That it was given in that way so we have free will. Yeah, it was an acknowledgement of that we are beings that can discern, that should choose their own destiny. I think that was acknowledged. But then, of course, it's a bit laughable now, because in the churches, only one way is being preached as the only way to the only possible outcome and the only truth. So the choice was taken away. And we're being sheep herded into one outcome. unless we understand ourselves, what we're in. We understand God as the different intentions that will create realities, and then decide for ourselves which one do we serve. And then when we've decided which one do we serve, then how do we use our energies? But that is spiritual. That is our spiritual body. How do we use that? What should it serve? And then it's really is a question of, more is not necessarily better. More takes you too far out, away from the intention of this world, into another reality. So there you have it. That is how Jesus was the straight line of Abraham, in that they served the same intention. The intention of the God that is the intention to take over this world, that intention is alien to this world. It's a spiritual alien invasion. And we must see that the intention of this world is actually good. We are actually in something that is good and worth serving, being a part of, defending if necessary. And then we see the truth of what that teaching actually says and what it drives us into doing or not doing. Anyway, I leave it at that for today, and I talk to you again soon. Bye.